Ladies and gentlemen, in the battle between law and grace, between legalism and liberty, between religion and relationship, grace wins.
Paul was emphatic that grace does not give people the right to sin, and I stand with Paul. If anything I've said in these videos about grace has left it unclear, let me clarify any possible misconception regarding my own view of sin. I am absolutely, completely, unequivocally, adamantly opposed to sin. It is wrong to break God's law. Nothing I say should be used as an excuse for sin. Why am I against sin? Well, let me give you 5 reasons we should avoid sin. Number 1, sin has consequences. The eternal law of sowing and reaping still applies, even to those who have been forgiven. If you sow sin, you will reap destruction in your life. Even if you are forgiven in the eyes of God, here on the earth, sin will destroy you. Grace forgives our sin, but grace does not change the negative consequences that sin can have in your life. Number 2, sin opens a door to the devil. This is why Ananias and Sapphira died in Acts 5. They did not die because God judged them. They died because their lie opened a door for Satan to work in their lives. Every problem you have in life is attached to sin, either your sin, Adam's sin, or someone else's sin. Sin is always devastating. Number 3, sin changes the direction your life is headed. Grace doesn't keep us from the destructive results of sin. Sin damages the heart. It makes it difficult to trust God in the future. It makes us doubt God's love and ability to forgive us. When we sin, God does not change and withdraw from us, but in our hearts we change and we withdraw from Him. The direction you are headed in reveals your final destination. Sinning does not make God run away from you. Rather, it makes you run away from God. Under grace, you have freedom to sin, but walking in sin will pull you away from your relationship with God, with no guarantee that you'll ever be able to make your way back to Him. Number 4, sin enslaves you. Sin actually takes you captive and turns you into a slave. You do not exercise your freedom by sinning. You actually destroy your freedom by sinning. And number 5, God hates sin. God abhors sin. He cannot allow sin to exist in His presence. The purpose of grace is not to allow sin, but to destroy sin. God's grace empowers you to live holy. God's grace frees you from sin. So don't use God's grace as an excuse to sin. Instead, allow God's grace to empower you to avoid sin. Sin will take you farther than you want to go. It will cost more than you want to pay, and it will take you longer to get away from it than you think it will take. And so you have to avoid sin. Don't allow grace to be an excuse to allow sin in your life. Instead, run away from sin by running towards God.